So I actually talked with the lady who was organizing those and supervising all those. And when I went and turned in my paperwork, she told me that I couldn't do it.
Hey, you! Here's an awesome story from our archives. This is the People's Podcast2. I'm the Y guy, and you are our Y.
I think in some type of way, I struggle a little bit every day.
I just pray and then put my effort into whatever thing I want to put it into.
Communication is the key to success. I mean, that's what they say.
Absolutely. Yeah, unity is so important.
You are our Y.
All right, I am Austin. I'm here in the park in East Jordan with...
My name is Donvee.
All right, Donvee, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Very well. It's a nice day.
Beautiful day.
Where are you from?
East Jordan.
You're from East Jordan, okay. Yep. So what brings you here now? Do you live here?
Yep, I actually was born and raised here, and I live here, came back to work, just finished vet school.
Okay. And where was that at?
I did vet school in the Caribbean. It's a small island called St. Kitts. I got to do 2.5 years down there for my book work, and then a year at Michigan State to finish my clinical work, and moved up since.
Okay. So why'd you come back? What brings you here?
Family. Grew up on a small beef farm between East Jordan and Boyne City, and just kind of always fell in love with the area. Wanted to come back to it. The family vet growing up offered me a job, so it just kind of worked out that I got to get through school and come home.
Okay. Well, do you believe that kind of the events of your life or the story of your life, the ups and the downs or whatever they may be, do you believe that you've got a story that might help somebody if they were to hear it?
Yeah, actually, when I was an undergrad, I had to do a externship at a business which was going to be a future career. And so I actually talked with the lady who was organizing those and supervising all those. And when I went and turned in my paperwork, she told me that I couldn't do it. And so she didn't have the time to talk to me that day. I needed to set up a meeting with her. And so I set up my meeting with her, and she sat me down and told me that she saw my GPA and knew that vet school wasn't going to be for me and that I would never get in. And basically, I couldn't work at a vet clinic for this working externship thing because I was never going to get in. So it's going to be a waste of everybody's time. And we actually had to work quite hard. I had to meet with the dean and talk with them and basically go over her head and got it approved. And I went to vet school, passed my NAVLE, so veterinarian license now. So she was clearly wrong. So persistence is key.
Yeah. So would you say that that you've struggled in your life in any way? I mean that kind of was an example of one, I suppose, but
oh yeah, and even getting to vet school, I had to send my transcripts into the national application board, and I had sent them in on time, and the rule was that they had to be submitted postmarked before the deadline, and I was 2 days before the deadline with my postmarking, but you couldn't call and ensure they got them until 2 weeks after you sent them. So when I called in my 2 weeks, they told me they hadn't gotten them. And I was like, well, where would have been my confirmation? And they said, well, we don't really send confirmation if we got them or not. And if they got here and appear tampered with, we might have thrown them away. And so basically I had to apply as a non-VEMCAS approved applicant. And Michigan State, where I went to undergrad, would not consider me as non-official, even though I had all the evidence that everything was done right on my end. And so Ross, the school I went to, was one of the only few. So it was Ross, Wisconsin, and Alabama were the three schools that would consider me. I called Alabama's admissions, and they said, your GPA is okay. I had like a 3.1. They said it was okay, but for an out-of-state applicant, it just wasn't going to happen. So they basically said, you can apply and spend your $150, or we can save you the money and tell you it's probably not going to happen. And I thanked the guy for his time and his honesty and didn't apply there. And Ross called me a month later and offered me an interview.
So if you don't mind me kind of summarizing, then you kind of met a bit of resistance, right? And were struggling, and I mean, describe what Ross was like, if you don't mind, briefly. I mean, that was a bit of a leap of faith, wouldn't you say?
So yeah, Ross was that, like you said, that little island Caribbean school. I hopped on a plane in August of 2019, and hopped on a plane in Traverse City, flew to Miami, and went wheels up and landed on an island I'd never seen. Spent a semester and a half, and then obviously COVID happened to everybody, but
Yep.
threw a big wrench in a lot of people's plans too. And another situation which you had to make the most of it. Moved home to my sister's apartment in Big Rapids so I could be away from the distractions, and lived alone, spent a lot of long hours studying, a few hours with leisure, and made it back to the island, finished it off. And that was kind of the biggest hurdle in this story too, was the COVID thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, being way down there in the Caribbean, did you have any kind of, like, I don't know if you call it a support group, but I mean, did you just have a little community around you for
Oh yeah.
anything that was going on, or were you alone down there, or
So I went down alone. Didn't have any friends going in, but Ross is very cognizant of the fact that a lot of us are coming down alone. I mean, we're moving halfway across the world to go to school, and so they actually set you up in orientation groups, and then a lot of your orientation groups, kind of, you work together. You're in a lot of similar classes. My case was a little special that I had to do is called like a vet prep, and you had to work through a semester of college, upper level graduate classes, and then if you got through, you got in your first semester. So I had a really close-knit group. There was 40 of us that got to do that program.
Okay.
And pretty much all of my friends that I made through vet school were with that group, that we stayed together through all of it.
Okay, very good. That's so that leads right into my next question. I got a couple more for you, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Do you believe that that there is power in communication, or in community, for that matter?
Oh, 100%. Through everything is support for one another. I mean, nobody's ever going to be the best at everything, and the sooner you can realize that and rely on the people around you. I mean, everybody has hard times with everything. It could just be that they understand something a little bit better. It can rephrase it, and just random skills. I had a surgery partner, and she was great at doing her sub-Q sutures.
Okay.
And that's somewhere I struggled, but I was really good at a lot of our pathophysiology, which is understanding how diseases work. And so being able to lean on each other, as far as her helping me with technical hand skills, and then me helping with some of the understanding of the more complex subjects. It's kind of how everybody gets through.
Yeah, I think that was a wonderful answer, and I even though I can't relate to your specific circumstance, I totally agree. And my other question would be, do you believe that I'm gonna leave this kind of open. Do you believe that that unity is something that the world needs or could benefit from?
Oh, of course. It just falls back right onto the same example of everybody's kind of good at something different, and even necessarily like in your area. A prime example is like, Kansas is the grain belt, and California makes a lot of wine. We trade bread for wine. I mean, if we don't work together, it just falls apart. And I mean, that's even on a global market. The same rules kind of apply. Different places are good at different things. And so, yeah, I think, like you said, unity and working together, we all have the same common goal. It's, some people want to get a little bit more than others, but at the end of the day, we're all just trying to live.
Yep. Okay, I got one last one that I forgot to slip in, and I think it's a good question for you because you just mentioned you're kind of in like a transition phase. You said you just graduated. So how do you earn a living right now, and how are you planning to earn a living moving forward?
So currently transitioning to being a veterinarian, not currently employed. I start in a couple weeks, but that will be my plan moving forward, is to work as a veterinarian, and then hopefully one day getting some ownership of the clinic and being able to use that to give back to the community, kind of stuff like that.
Very good. All right. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that that in just a couple weeks you're going to be starting something that you're passionate about and has been first and foremost in your life for some years now, right? So
Yeah, yep.
it's like an awesome new journey. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, I'm here in East Jordan with Donvee. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for watching this interview. We hope and pray that this story could help you, encourage you, or inspire you to take action in any way. We challenge you to see yourself in every interviewee, and we challenge you to get out and talk to one new person every single day. If this impacted your life in any way, please like, share, and subscribe. We're posting one new video every single day, Monday through Saturday. Thank you so much for your time. This is the People's Podcast. We're praying for you always.
Man, that's deep.